Recharge your life. Find out how to recharge your walk with Christ in this episode of 5 Minutes Closer. I'm Vaughn Weatherford, and this is 5 Minutes Closer. For the next 5 minutes, let's explore some biblical truths and apply them to your life. No podcast, including this one, can transform your life or give you what you really need. Only Jesus can do that. You can find out why in what I've called the first five episodes of 5 Minutes Closer. Each following episode explores scriptural truths that, if you follow them, will bring you 5 minutes closer to the person God created you to be. Let's see if we can get you 5 minutes closer. Batteries are great devices. Modern technology couldn't exist without them, but everyone who's ever used a battery knows the problem. Batteries lose their charge, often at the worst possible moment. The same can happen in our walk with the Lord. When God gives you an opportunity to serve Him, make sure your battery is charged. Paul tells us how in Galatians chapter 5, verse 16. There the Bible says, "But I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh." First of all, we need to understand that our spiritual battery leaks. Jesus asked His disciples to pray with Him in the hours before the cross, but He warned them in Matthew 26:41, "Watch and pray that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." I had a robot toy when I was 6 years old. It was an amazing toy. It walked, it talked, it flashed lights, it waved its arms. It was everything a 6-year-old boy could want. Then I lost it. My version of the story was the robot walked somewhere and hid. But as it turns out, I got it lost in the black hole that was my bedroom closet. A couple of years later, my mom made me clean my closet, and I found my robot. I turned on his switch, but he didn't come on. When I checked the batteries, not only had they run down, they'd also leaked battery acid throughout my robot. My robot got permanently lost in next week's trash. Paul warns that our spiritual batteries don't just expire, they leak. Sin cannot take away our salvation. It can, however, destroy. When we allow sin to take root in our lives, it destroys our opportunity and ability to serve the Lord. Paul not only identifies the problem, but he also provides the solution. Walk by the Spirit. In verses 22 and 23, Paul describes the life that is lived in the Spirit. We'll take a closer look at those verses in the next episode. But for now, understand this foundational truth. To live for Christ, we have to walk in the Spirit. After several failed attempts, I finally broke down and bought a good pair of work gloves. Cheap gloves fall apart after just a few uses. The gloves I have now have lasted for years. They have protected my hands from thorns, broken glass, nails, rocks, and more. As good as they are, I have discovered something. The gloves don't do anything until I put them on. They don't mow the lawn, they don't take out my trash, they don't weed my yard. They are as useless as the cheap gloves were when they're just sitting on my shelf. When I put my hands in my gloves, they can accomplish all kinds of things. Hopefully they'll clean my garage this afternoon. What makes the difference is what fills our life. When we let the appetites of the flesh drive our decisions, things get out of control very quickly. When we are led by the Spirit, life looks a lot different. In the next episode, we'll see what that life looks like. But the reality is, it looks pretty much exactly like what you would expect. A life defined by love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and more. The key is letting God's Spirit take control as you seek to live according to His principles, in His presence, and by His power. It means recognizing your appetites for what they are, God-given directives that can be abused if not controlled by God's Spirit. Walk by the Spirit, because now you're 5 minutes closer. My prayer is that these 5 minutes have challenged you, inspired you, and caused you to consider applying God's message for your life from His Word. To find out more, visit our website at 5minutescloser.com. Join me next time to see if we can get you 5 minutes closer.